Close right dive on it.
This is twice now the Celtics have been first to the floor.
Trying to save with Horford. Unbelievable.
Boston first to the floor. So good.
Brown fakes, fires up the three. Tatum dives on the floor. Everybody dives. Jaylen Brown with the flush. Blocked by Porzingis. He's doing it all. Tatum spinning, driving, layup. Washington drive. Blocked by White. Oh, what a block from Derek White.
Welcome into another episode of First to the Floor. I'm Ben Vallis. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're doing well. I'm here with Jake Eisenberg and Wade Spooney live from Las Vegas. Guys, how we doing?
Good.
We're alive.
Barely.
We're alive. Yeah, man. I was thinking in my head when I woke up this morning, who won? Me or Vegas? Us or Vegas? And I went to check out, and there was a $440 USD checkout fee, and I freaked out for a moment. And then apparently it was not a charge. There was not two $200 charges at 2 in the morning that I didn't remember.
Yeah.
It was just a troll to be like, no, you've actually paid that much. I'm like, what? Why?
Why does it say I can charge my card down
Yeah.
here?
So I don't know what that was, but that was the moment where I was like, oh, that's gonna be what tips it back in Vegas's favor. But no, I think we got the dub against Vegas.
I don't know, man. It's a tight 7-game series.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Sure.
But I do keep waking up with $50 in my pocket from
There we go.
gambling, which is like a loss from what I put in, but like could be worse. So I'm doing all right in that way. I am feeling quite just beat down, tired, I guess. Not like sleep tired, just like my body's like, dude, get out of that city now.
Your mum is currently in the chat showing her support.
Hi, Mom.
Glad you're alive.
Glad you're alive.
Yeah.
Nice.
Shout out Spooney's mum.
Yeah, we had a real meal last night, which is sick. Din Tai Fung.
We did?
And it was awesome.
It was so
We
good.
went to town, and yeah, we came back up here, put the leftovers in the fridge, came back to get them after we gambled. And for whatever reason, I put mine in the section of the fridge that wasn't cold somehow.
Yeah.
Why is there a section of
why
the
is
fridge
there-
that isn't
why is
cold?
there-
No
Why?
idea why it
It's a
exists.
fridge.
Yeah.
So that was annoying. But
Yeah,
great.
I feel like we're winning. Like we basically kidnapped Dan Greenberg
That was-
in a way that he actually drove us back here
Yeah,
to my hotel and got him to do a live podcast, which we were excited to meet the guy. Like fast forward moments later, and he's in our room, my room, doing a pod for us, which was fantastic. He was great. And I don't know. I feel like we've won. We've done like 4 pods now.
Yeah.
This is pod number 4.
Pod 4.
A lot of basketball.
Straight back to Summer League after we've wrapped up this show. I feel like we've done quite
Dude.
well. And
Yeah.
although we lost yesterday, I wasn't on yesterday's pod. I was frothing over Baylor Scheierman by the end of
Yes.
that game. Absolutely. You guys were saying it, and Jackson Moe was saying to me during the game, it's unlikely that he'll play at all for the Celtics this year. Like, cut to
Ooh.
me during the game being like, fuck yeah, this guy's going to be in our 8-man rotation.
Oh,
He's beating Hauser
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
he was good, man. It was cool. It was funny, like watching the highlights after being at the game. Like we just don't get to go to that many basketball games,
Right.
and especially like Celtics games. And so to be in the stands and you have like this perspective of how the game went, and then you go back and watch the highlights. I'm like, wow, it's such a different viewing experience watching it on like the broadcast angle as opposed to like. Dude, we were so like where the Cox Pavilion is such a small arena where you're so close to the court. It's so awesome. You can really see and feel everything, including Brad Stevens' aura from across the court.
Emanating, spilling
dude.
all over the arena, the Cox.
Bro.
Well, I would say that's another area where Vegas lost is you can't leave the Cox Pavilion if you want to be able to get back in the game. And if you need to go to the bathroom or you want to get a beer or something, like don't expect to get back in within like 45 minutes, basically, which is the problem. And Jake showed a great exhibited great leadership skills yesterday.
Speaking of
when
aura.
Getting straight past the line, just put your head down, act like you've been there
Just-
before, walk straight into the Cox Pavilion, NBA
Yeah.
Summer League, right before the Celtics game. Brad Stevens, Joe Mazzulla would have been impressed.
We're first to the floor. Straight to the front, sir.
Last to the arena.
Last to the arena, first to the floor. The tough part was they weren't letting people out to pee. You had to go back in line. But then that was really an impressive performance. Was like I did it again to get back in because I made it through the first 3 quarters. I was like I might die if I don't pee. And I'm like, but I'm gonna miss some of this game. It's gonna be I'll have to watch it on TV outside of the arena. But right back in to watch the end of the game, which. was fun, wasn't?
Yeah, it wasn't a great end of the game,
No.
but yeah. He's made a little run there. I was probably harsh on Keita. I think it goes back to like being there in person. It's just you're just less aware of like the stats too, because all they have on Cox is points and rebounds, and it's numbers, and it wasn't working half the time.
Yeah,
so I didn't realize Keita was so efficient yesterday. I do think he had some defensive problems, but. It really is just a different experience, and I don't know if I even said it on the pod, but my takeaway was like it just feels so much more real, which is a dumbass thing to say, but that's like how I feel. It's like, oh yeah, this is not like really high def 2K when I'm watching on TV. It's like these are real humans doing all this crazy shit.
Well, when you enter the arena, you walk along the floor before you go up the bleachers, and so you're like on the same level as these players, except you're totally not because compared to them, you are subhuman. And they're these massive dudes.
That was sick, and I put something on the Instagram, and I was like, am I down a level or like on the ground? And I'm like, no, dude, these guys are all giant, man. Like Baylor's big, dude.
Yeah,
he's a big boy. And Keita, the fact that we opened the box score just now, and I was like, well, Keita was 9 for 15. That I do not remember with 9 boards. So like that's obviously good, but in person, I'm like, we were all like, dude, his touch is brutal.
Yeah.
And the defense was not good either. But no, should we do Summer League highlights on and off the court?
Let's do it.
Should we draft?
Sure.
You want to draft?
Draft
All right,
draft
okay.
moments?
Yeah, all right. Spoonie, you want the first pick?
Yeah, I think first pick for me, it's tough, right? Because part of me wants to say, like, walking into the Cox right next to the players, like, I heard, like, them just like, let's go, Walshy, let's go. Like, the boys hyping him up. Like, I almost touched Tony Dobbins accidentally because he was, like, sitting in a chair but, like, turned around like this. And I'm just like brushing past his elbow.
You're like leaning forward, like, oh no, whoops.
Yeah. And then you look across the court and there's Brad, and it's like, whoa, next to Hauser. But I think like strictly basketball for me, it's Reed Shepherd. Like he was electric, man. Like that was a really fun game. That was the most fun crowd game because it was almost full for the Lakers, Rockets, and Reed was putting on a show. Multiple times where the crowd was just like, ooh, when he would cross somebody up. And there's like no greater feeling when the entire crowd does that, especially when he was like burying pull-up threes after it. So for me, it's Reed basketball-wise.
I think basketball-wise, that's a great first pick off the board.
Thank you.
Are we going round the back or am I next here?
You're next.
I'm next here. Okay.
Mostly because I haven't thought of anything.
Okay. Well, I think this is great value at number 2 here. Off the court. Hanging out with you guys in person.
Sure.
Yeah,
has
that's been
awesome.
great. That's number one for sure.
Like
yeah.
and Jackie Spooner gave me the idea, but glad you got to spend some special time together. It really was special time together on the casting couch these last few days. But yeah, man, we went to the Paris casino just on the way because Spooner had a couple of chips to cash from that first night, and like.
Somehow.
I was and like I was like, this is where it all began. You guys met me right outside Beer Park as we walked into the Paris casino, and that was the beginning of the last 3 days. And it's been so good hanging out with you guys, but then also hanging out with all the Boston media people as well, like hanging out with Jack and Sam and Noah and Bobby. Both Bobbies, we got to have a good chat to Bobby Manning in real life yesterday as well. So getting to hang out with all of the people we've spent time with on the internet in person, like, and then I like Greeny into that as well. So like that in-person interaction with people that I've spent hundreds of hours talking to online was awesome.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it's been awesome hanging out, doing these pods live in person. Like I think the fact that we've cranked out 4 in like less than that days shows just like the eagerness. Like we're here, we've got all the gear, like we're finally in person, and we're in this like nerdy basketball convention environment. That's just like, let's pot it up. And it's like we haven't even really had to drag each other into those moments. We've just been like willingly doing all of these pods and like so many excuses, hangovers, jet lag, whatever, to not do them, and yet we continue to get up and do them. So that's a great second pick. Can I parlay that into my third pick? You kind of forward into that territory already, but
I know.
You said sort of meeting everyone else in the sort of CLNS, Celtics blog, Celtics Twitter environment. And so I would add to that just like genuinely feeling a part of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Meeting people that I've, watched their shows, listened to their stuff, read their stuff time and time again. And like we walked up to Bobby Manning yesterday and he was like, he recognized us before we recognized him.
Yeah.
And a bunch of other people, same circumstances, which is always like, it's never not amazing and never not surreal to have just been an Aussie Celtics fan, and suddenly we're here in Las Vegas and we've got like people recognizing us.
Yeah,
Essentially.
dude.
It's hard to go past that.
Yeah, man, freaking Ben Golliver coming up from the media section. Like, we're in the VIP, and I'm like, yo, Golliver, and he like turning around. He's like, yeah, I'll meet you at halftime. It's just like, that's awesome. We go up there, and then he's just shit talking. I know, Spoonie, you went there for this bit. I know.
Sounds so cool. Sounds like the best 5 minutes of the trip, frankly.
And him just being like giving me the championship confetti from Game 5, and then being like, now please shut the fuck up and stop emailing the show as much as you do with your Celtics propaganda and just talking smack. It's so awesome. Got a great photo from it. Like dapped up Tim Bontemps right before, and he's like, the champs are here. Yeah, walking around all day just being like, champs are here. That was very fun. High five Nakai's Duncan. They're like the people spotting. It's so funny, like how everyone's on like the same level of nerdiness. Like when we're in the VIP section and we were like next to this Knicks fan and his dad, and it's like we're talking about Daddy A and like all like the deepest cuts.
Jacobitis. I was like, he got drafted a few years ago. And the dude's like, he starts on Real Madrid. It's like, what are we talking about?
I'm like, people should know this, but everyone here knows this stuff.
He gave us the full scouting report.
Yeah, he did.
So that's but I think you're up now, pick wise.
So since you guys had the Gulliver moment,
Sure.
I had my own moment with Jared Allen.
Sure, that was
when I walked up to them and asked him which kind of graphics card he had.
That was
and he's like
1080.
Yeah, he's like 1080 Ti, man. I'm still rolling with that. And I was like, you got to upgrade, bro. And he's like, I know. He seemed to like actually want to talk to me about it, which was surreal.
Of all of the interactions we had, that was by far the one where they actually wanted to talk to you in particular. We were just watching, but he legitimately had the biggest smile on his face, was like laughing about, I don't even know what you guys are really talking about. Like that's not my realm. But he legitimately was like, his face lit up to talk about.
Someone's asking me about computers.
Yeah. So that was really well done from you. So,
Thank you.
But we were there for that. So.
So true.
That was awesome to see, though. That was cool. It was definitely the best like one-to-one NBA player interaction we've had. Maybe the only one as well. Before we get to Jake's extra pick, his next pick, his fourth pick, fifth pick, fifth pick. Thank you, Maths. We're gonna get to a quick ad read from our friends over at Prize Picks.
That's right. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps, on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. If you're looking for promotions, Prize Picks has you covered every week. From lowering select players' stat projections on Tuesdays to help your lineup hit, or getting your entry fees back if you have a losing lineup on Fridays. Didn't know that. That's a great little tidbit right there. With the finals over, the hoops action doesn't stop on Prize Picks. Women's basketball's heating up. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese looking to make names for themselves. Brianna Stewart and Aja Wilson, who did a great pod with Jason Tatum recently. You can win up to 100 times your cash watching the ladies ball out. I would maybe recommend picking less on Jordan Walsh points against the Lakers tomorrow. I made my first $10 deposit and recent instant $10 bonus. If you have the skills, you can play for a shot at turning $10 into $1,000. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks for a first deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
Amazing. Jake with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth pick in the draft. What do you got?
This is tough. Yeah, man. Watching the Celtics.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Watching the Celtics. Yeah, I know.
Steal.
Huge steal here. I really wish I didn't have to pee so bad for the whole time, but it was still awesome. Dude, Jaden Stringer just went bonkers in the game, and just like we're gonna be able to say that we were at Baylor Scheierman Hall of Famer's first ever Summer League game where he went 13-5. Like, oh yeah, this is Joe Ingles if Joe Ingles was the All-Star version.
Yes, that's what I was thinking the whole time.
I especially as if you take out the first 2 misses, which don't count because it's for his first 2 ever shots. I don't think that they count. He ends up being 3 for 5 from 3 and 4 for 7 from the field. So. And 5 boards. I love the way he rebounds, man.
Yeah, for sure.
He looks to crash the boards and then go. Yeah. And then create scoring opportunities for himself and for the other guys around him. I really loved that. And Anton Watson, that block he had,
was
spicy.
Was that on where?
I think it was on where.
Yeah.
I thought he was good. I really liked Anton Watson.
Same.
Yeah. Like big connecting wing.
Yeah.
Kind of vibe, which was cool.
Got to shoot it, I think, long-term
Yeah.
future-wise. And did he take a 3?
He took one, which I don't remember.
Yeah, me either. But that's like the big thing for him. But lots to like out of Watson, I think. And Scheierman, both the rookies looked solid.
You know who I thought looked good despite having a bad stat line was Drew Peterson.
Yeah, okay.
I thought that like defensively he held up in some good spots. Like, because you always see the stat lines coming out of Maine where it's like 10 boards, 8 assists, like kind of stuffs the stat sheet. I could see that in his game yesterday, the way that he was kind of doing a little bit of everything. But yeah, he wasn't able to get some shots to go despite like, and what I've learned on Twitter is that field goal percentage and 3-point percentage doesn't matter at Summer League.
That's right.
It's about
fake.
Yeah, it's about taking the shots. So the fact that Drew Peterson went over 4 and Jordan Walsh went over 6 is actually good because they were getting them up.
Yeah, Drew Peterson, and we were saying, someone in the chat is saying, Birkin, that Peterson had serious handle issues, and like Jack, Simone, and I were talking about watching the game live yesterday, how I was surprised to see him bringing the ball up so much, but apparently he does that a lot in Maine and did that quite a bit in college as well. So I guess it was good to see him try and tap into that like supposed skill set in the environment like Summer League. But I was also surprised to see him like defending the rim on multiple occasions as well. Did not know that was part of his game. I don't expect that to ever be exhibited on an NBA floor.
Right.
But it was just cool to see like his diversity exhibited a little bit. But yeah, Scheierman, man, like Scheierman was diming guys up.
Yeah.
He was very true to his like college stat line. Was like a little bit of scoring, a little bit of rebounding, a little bit of passing, solid on defense, can move his feet. He was absolutely getting cooked by Jaime Jaquez, but Jaime Jaquez was cooking everybody. And that kind of segues into my next pick, which is just like seeing NBA caliber players on the court, like guys who have already really established themselves
Brandon Miller?
in the NBA. So yes, like specifically Brandon Miller was going to be my pick with the number 6 pick because we had really great seats and we got to hang around for about a quarter for that game before we head off to the Celtics game. And he was just absolutely dominating the Knicks and was like far and beyond like the best player on the court, like talent-wise, skill-wise, dimensions-wise.
Yeah,
like,
he was dimensionally outstanding.
Yeah,
Holy
dude.
shit,
I was
dude.
having a dimensions-gasm. I don't know if you guys realized sitting next to me. But
we could tell.
I was shaking. I was getting goosebumps. But he was incredible to watch.
They were like, sir, could you please sit down?
Yeah.
I thought Miller, Cam Whitmore really stood
my
out.
God,
He
yeah.
took some of the dumbest shots of all time, but just like how big, how physical, and how talented he is compared to Summer League guys was crazy. And Jaquez too, man. Like there were times where Jaquez was making these shots and it was like, what are you doing here, dude? You're like 25. Like, get off the Summer League court, bro.
Yeah, he played 70 games last season or whatever.
And the playoffs.
And the playoffs and played like 30 minutes a night. So, but look, hey, I like seeing them there. So I forget who said this to me yesterday. It may have been Greeny. And he was like, it's good to see those guys there because you can then see what the other guys look like against types of guys like that. So it's like, okay, Baylor Scheierman, I thought he kind of stayed in front relatively well, but then like Jaquez was just too strong and crafty once he kind of got to the spots and got downhill. But for his first attempt, that assignment, that was a pretty tough cover. But yeah, I think that's a good take from Greeny. It's like it's cool to see how guys can stack up against the Brandon Millers and players like that, like the Knicks we were playing. They had a big man because the Knicks fans we were talking to were like, "What are you guys going to do about this whole Mitchell Robinson Hartenstein thing?"
Yeah.
They're like, "We don't know, man. It's not good."
Sims.
Yeah, Jericho Sims. We were out there, and
They were so high on Jericho Sims.
and they were like, we were laughing.
The dad was like, he's a really nice guy.
Yeah. And we were all laughing. He was like, "That's not." Yeah. Great father.
Yeah. Right.
Big foxhole guy.
Yeah.
High character guy.
That's the guy you want to be with in the trenches. Too. Great pick from Ben.
Go around again?
Yeah, go around and go. Just continue to run out, I reckon. And then we'll see how we go. About 10 minutes.
Yeah. So I would say this is really corny and lame, but like the genuine like excitement when Greeny saw us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Greeny was like, the boys! And like dapped us up. And it's like, I didn't know you're all going to be here. He thought it was just me in town.
Oh, right.
So he was so hyped that the whole crew was here. And like, you don't know what to expect because he's really complimentary and he's really chill even after we record. He'll just be like, dude, anytime, guys, I'm happy to come on. But you don't know how much of that is just like being polite. But the fact that it was like my excitement was matched with his excitement to see us, it was like, this fucking rules, man. This is so awesome.
You guys want to get in my car and fucking come to our casting couch and record pod? Yeah, man. That was awesome. We're all wearing the Celtics merch.
Yeah.
It was, got a good photo of the boys. Yeah, man. That was he was. Oh, actually, I can't. say if I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say who he was talking to.
He was talking to somebody.
He was talking to somebody. Yeah.
I think we got to leave it there.
I was just about, and so that was cool. We got to be near with Greeny as he was talking to somebody. I was like, whoa, we're close to talking to somebody.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We're like 2 degrees away from someone really important. He was like in our seats, and then he's texting. He's like, I gotta go meet this guy.
Yeah, we're like, oh man,
shit.
Bring him back. Can we come? Yeah. That was epic. Candace Parker. Seeing all the the NBA guys and celebrities around was cool, and I think she was one of the cooler people that I yelled at a lot of people.
Is this your pick?
And it's my pick.
Okay.
Is Candace Parker. I was like,
she's fucking tall.
She's tall, and I was like, yo, Candace, and she's looked at me and gave me like a. I was like,
Did he give you the too small straight away?
That would be unfair. Come on, man. But yeah, no, the fact that she acknowledged me, gave me a little head nod. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I remember we made it here, dude.
Yeah, Jake, you have like a really gregarious, sort of outbound, extroverted personality. So I've really been impressed with Jake, just, like going up to all NBA media type personalities, players, and just like dapping everyone up, and everyone being really receptive to that as well. Whereas like me and Spoonie are a little bit more reserved.
Yeah,
we're like, I'll admire you from afar.
Oh my gosh, is that CJ McCollum?
Yeah. I'm like, what's Tim Bontemps gonna do? Not high five me?
Yeah. Yeah, you dapping up Tim Bontemps specifically, I thought was really funny, and how into it he was. He really like leaned into the
he gave me a little like legit. I didn't expect that. I was just going for the high five, but he came in for the little hug.
Nice.
I was like, okay, Timmy B, let's go, dude. I'll forgive you for your next Celtics hater take now.
Well, you guys might hate on this pick. Can I pick Summer League in general? Because I think that we were all really surprised at how much of a hoops convention it was. And Greeny was speaking to this yesterday. You know, like we've all made our own trips to the playoffs, like multiple times. Spoonie and I were at the finals in 22. Jake, obviously, you're in that great playoff series against the Nets earlier, that playoff round, that sick. Playoff series. But being here for Summer League and just being in the Cox Pavilion, for example, and the level of like hoops appreciation and hoops nerdiness, for lack of a better term, that everyone has to get them to Vegas in this heat to Summer League to watch and admire like lesser talented NBA players. Everyone's at a much higher level in their game as a hoops fan. And so to be completely immersed in that environment, everyone has at least the same level of appreciation for the game that you do. That's really cool. And you go to the playoffs and you get a lot of like bandwagon fans and stuff like that who are just there
Ball go
for
in
the event.
fans.
To like hold the hot ticket.
They don't know that you're supposed to go 0 for 8 or something.
They don't. And like to that point, there was one point I can't even remember what game it was, but I think it was when we were in Cox. Somebody made like a good corner kick, and like half the crowd just like, ooh, good pass.
Nice connecting pass. Dude, Ben, that's a great call, man. Like, and it's, like in Australia, there'll be basketball fans, like someone will be like, oh, Celtics, or like they'll be wearing Celtics clothes, whatever, and I'm like, Celtics fan, they're like, oh, kinda, and this is like the complete opposite. It's like the Knicks fan when we were talking. It was awesome, man. Like the deep cuts that both teams were talking about. Like, we had Johan Beggar on. Like we thought he might be someone. It's like, and other people like know who that is. It's like it's so embarrassing, but it's not in this environment. It's you're cool. You're cool here.
Like, if it weren't for the heat, I'd kind of want to be here forever.
Oh, that's awesome. I know. I would love to make this an annual trip. It's very far and very expensive, but it is very awesome to just be able to sit all day, run into people, and just watch basketball. It was a bad year from like a potential stars draft, which is that doesn't barely bothers me, to be honest.
Same.
But like last year's Summer League that had Wemby, which is insane.
Wemby, Brandon Miller,
the year before like Paolo and Jabari Smith and some of those guys, like even like I don't even remember Jalen Green at Summer League, but I feel like he would have been awesome at Summer League just because he was.
I can't really remember what he did at Summer League either.
But yeah, so like in 2 years or even who knows, man? Who knows? Maybe next year.
Maybe next year we'll see.
Who knows?
I gotta do some really epic parenting when I get home in order to make this happen.
A lot of work to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, I gotta go back to work. Well, who knows? CLNS, maybe you fly us out. Which seems fair.
Keep reading those ads.
Should
we say that concludes the draft? And then have you got any like undrafted Sammy Hauser waiver wire pickups that you want to get to before we wrap up?
I think just like that moment when you walk in, you know what I mean, and you're finally there, is just really fun, really cool. It's like, wow, we've been planning this shit since October, and you're like finally walking into the Thomas and Mack. We immediately beeline it to get a beer.
Yeah.
We accidentally got 4 beers due to
Yeah.
miscommunication
what a shame.
on my
Damn it.
behalf. And just like sitting down, the game's about to start.
Yeah.
We have our first beer, and it's like, we made it, boys.
Yeah.
Like, we're here.
It's like all we have to
This
do
is so worth it. Yeah.
All we have to do is sit down for the next 6 hours
Yeah,
and,
watch
and,
basketball.
drink,
Really tough.
drink beer, eat chicken tendies, and watch basketball.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, this is essentially heaven.
Yeah,
it's
and the
awesome.
pace of the games is really nice.
Yeah,
8-minute half times. The games start on time. So if a game ends early, they'll have a 30-minute in between a game. But if a game ends late, it's 8 minutes,
Yep.
and then the next game is rolling out. So it's
Shorter,
just awesome.
Shorter timeouts.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's just quick. It's like it's a little like a music festival. It's just
Yeah.
like bang. Yeah, it's awesome.
Next on the main
Yeah,
stage,
yeah.
the Houston
Let's
Rockets
go.
and Washington Wizards.
That's
Ronnie
right.
James.
Ronnie,
Who
oh,
did
man.
not make our draft.
Funny. That was he. I mean, that could be my undrafted thing. Was the Lakers fans being sad. I enjoyed that.
That was
Yeah.
quite fun.
They were quite
beautiful.
sad. I didn't like, and also being there for Bronny James is like just a cool moment, dude. We were there for LeBron's son's summer league
Yeah.
in Vegas debut,
Vegas debut, yeah.
and it was not good.
Dude, it was not. And just see like just the gradual disdain on the Lakers fans' faces. And we kind of talked about this on our first pod, but the guy sitting next to us just like gradually sat, and then he rage quit halfway through the fourth quarter and left the arena. Actually, like props to him for withstanding our clear, like emanating Lakers hate coming from who were clearly 3 Celtics fans for as long as he did. But yeah, that's definitely an undrafted highlight.
Me maniacally laughing every time Bronny missed a corner three. Probably
that
just
was
tough to take.
dude, that was in the warm ups, dude. That was in the warm ups, and you lost it. And I was like, this is a professional hater.
Yeah, that's true.
Right
It's
here.
true.
Can I add walking around the casino at night and just the
Yes.
insane like bevy of NBA players that you see, like just inadvertently, you just be walking around and it's like, there goes Avery Bradley, there goes Pascal Siakam. Yesterday we're playing blackjack, video blackjack, $5 hands.
It was awesome.
And CJ McCollum just walks past and Jake, you gave him a little,
CJ?
little wave and he acknowledged you.
Yeah, that was one of
good.
my one of the lower level acknowledgements. I got.
right.
Yeah.
You got something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's not meant to be surprising. You're here in NBA Summer League, and there's so many other sort of associated events occurring around Summer League. So everyone's here converging on Vegas, which is why it's so good to be here as well. And yet every time you see an NBA player, you're just like awestruck by them. The height and just like the general richness of their vibe, the wealth emanating from them as well. It's really cool.
It is funny, and also just like every tall person, you're like, wait, hang on, what do we got here? And it's like,
dude.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, no, I missed
know
him.
you're on a summer league roster, but I don't know who you are.
Or they're
Yeah.
like a coach or a scout or, you know, GM, front office, whatever. Like, yeah, they're all associated with a team in some degree.
Question from Birkin in the chat. Should we be concerned about Jordan Walsh? I'm concerned about Jordan Walsh.
Not yet.
It's one game.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you, I'm emotionally concerned.
that's
Oh,
fair.
yeah. It was disappointing.
Yeah.
It could be nothing. And that's maybe my other undrafted thing. That made me sad.
I'm trying to think of like what he needs to do in the next couple games to turn this to a positive summer league for him, because I feel like that first game really sticks in people's heads lots of time with summer league. But I mean, if he's just like okay in the next couple games, I think I'll be fine with it. But man,
That was not good.
It's not good.
It's not good. I think play a bit more within himself.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like maybe they want him to take all the threes.
They might, yeah.
And so that's fine. But yeah, Jordan Walsh looking. I wish I was going to be here for you tomorrow.
I know.
But
The bounce back.
it's unfortunate. But yeah, man. Well, next time it's like, do we try and Greeny was like, if you do weekdays, it's like way less busy, and so you can kind of bounce around between the Cox and the Thomas and Mack way easier, and you can like hear even more than you already can, which is already insane. But also the atmosphere we wouldn't have gotten from Lakers Houston if it wasn't for like a Friday night, which was sick.
Yeah.
Right. And like, I don't think the NBA players are here through the week, right? They're probably leaving today or tomorrow. So I think being here that first weekend when like everybody's here is kind of awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah. Oh man, see, like even like right in the chat, we got Nick and Daniel look like they're both going to be here for the C's Lakers games. Yeah. So it's like I think we might be missing a few people, but like it is what it is.
Next year.
Yeah. Should just stay. I can't. I'm so glad I'm leaving though.
Yeah.
I want to stay, but I'm also like I'm so happy my flight's tonight.
Yeah, like I was thinking about putting like the city of Las Vegas in the draft, but I can't quite quite get there.
No.
I'm not sure why.
It's a fucking weird place, dude.
It's a really weird place.
It is weird.
It's far more confusing than I was anticipating.
So confusing.
We even got lost walking over here right now, even though we'd walked over here like a dozen times in
and
3 days.
We're across the road from each other, which was part of the appeal of
Yeah.
each booking those hotels. And like to get from one place to the other, it's like at least a 20-minute
Yeah.
excursion.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And it's so difficult to find your way out of one casino.
Yes.
And yet you find yourself beckoned into the next one so easily. So
Yeah.
I guess it's all obviously by design.
And
but,
don't love the solicitors when you're walking
No.
and just everybody's like, here, here, take this. It's like, just leave me alone, dude.
Yeah.
I'm so hungover.
They got
right
me.
now.
They got me on the first day because
Yeah.
like I was so dusty and like they were.
Just leave me alone.
I gave
Here's
one guy
$30.
$20. I gave another guy $10, and then that guy got mad at me because the other guy got 20, and this guy got 10. I'm like, guys, I'm literally gonna die. It's 45 degrees Celsius, and you're just basically robbing me. It's like, please let me go. Last question.
Sure.
Dynasty, no dynasty. This is the way I've been framing it.
Summer League Dynasty or Celtics Dynasty?
I
Yeah,
think
please
Celtic.
clarify.
I think Celtic Dynasty. I've been framing it as we are the team with the best chance to repeat since the Warriors, and you just go from there.
And wouldn't that be dynastic in the current NBA environment?
You think 2?
Oh, well, I think
2
so.
plus
yeah.
remaining contenders, and then like maybe you get one more. Like you got to get to 4 really, though, if you want to be like in a real
I think
dynasty
3.
conversation.
I think 3,
3?
you can make this is a dynasty. I think it's not going to compete with the best dynasties.
Well, it's like the '80s Celtics won 3, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like they were dynastic-ish.
Yeah, it's just hard now with the CBA. Like it's set up to just make that impossible to achieve. So to win 2, despite that, I think would be.
I love that
dynastic.
take, Ben. I love that take.
So
Yeah.
let's become a dynasty. Let's
Modern
make this
day
year.
dynasty.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
I like it.
The second apron dynasty.
So
Yeah, man.
what's the plan for today, guys? We're about to wrap up this pod
Yeah.
and go where and do what?
Well, so the Euros final has just started, so we could go to the sports book downstairs and check that out, or
Sounds delightful,
we can just go straight to Summer League. We got Bucks, Cavs, Clippers, Nets, Timberwolves, Pacers. I got to leave at around like 3:30 for the airport, but yeah, no, I'm easy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's figure it out.
Good problems to have. Let's go.
Let's
right,
wrap
yeah.
up and figure this out. All right, folks, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back in different places,
Yeah.
some of us different countries in a few days' time. In the meantime, go Celts.